Hey, what's up guys, Sukhdeep here. So in this video, I wanted to do a tour of my desk setup for 2025. A lot of you have been asking me to go over how I've set up my workspace, along with what sort of accessories I'm using. So I'm going to be covering all of that in today's video. I'll also be leaving links to any of the products I mentioned throughout this video in the description below. Let's get into it. Starting off with the desk itself, the desk I've gone for is the standing desk from Vernal. You've probably seen Vernal all over YouTube recently. They seem to be sponsoring nearly every single desk setup video out there. Don't worry, they're not sponsoring this video. I did pay for this entire setup with my own money for around £600 during Black Friday last year. And overall, I'd say the quality of this desk definitely does live up to the hype. I've gone for the walnut colour, which I do think is a bit dark and muted. I would have preferred it if the reds popped a bit more, especially during the day. However, the desk still looks very classy, especially at night when it's fully lit up, and I'm a big fan of the custom height presets you can set with the press of a single button, which saves you having to set the exact heights each time. Overall, this has definitely been the biggest upgrade to my setup this year, coming previously from a desk that had a fixed height. I definitely highly recommend investing in a standing desk if you can afford it, mainly because it just gives me a break from sitting down at my desk all day long. As somebody who spends most of their time sat at a desk throughout the day, I think it's important to be able to take those mini breaks every hour or so, just to stretch my legs and get my blood flowing. Plus, using a standing desk has been shown to improve concentration during extended working sessions. On top of the desk, I've got a desk shelf from Vernal, which perfectly matches the rest of the setup. I'll often use this to store either my laptop or my iPad underneath when they're not in use, along with everyday carry items in the shelf compartment. The only thing that I'm not a big fan of is that the drawer will fall out a bit if you pull it out too much. So you'll want to make sure not to store your accessories in too deep. On top of the shelf, I've got the infamous Apple Studio display, which is my current monitor of choice. I recently did a long-term review of this display on the channel, so make sure to check that out if you haven't already. But yeah, this display has almost everything that I'd ever want in a monitor. You know, it's got that 5K resolution, it goes up to 600 nits of brightness, it's got the built-in speakers, and it just matches the overall aesthetic with my MacBook quite nicely. You'll notice that I don't have any external speakers in the setup, and that's because I find that the built-in speakers on the Studio display are more than good enough for my workflow. If I really do need the extra audio quality, I'll just throw on a pair of headphones. Of course, one of the advantages of the Studio display is that it does come with that built-in webcam. However, not every monitor out there comes with that, which is where today's sponsor OBSBOT comes in, with their new Meet SE AI-powered Full HD webcam. This webcam features a 1080p sensor that takes extremely high quality videos in what is a very slim and aesthetic package that can easily fit on top of most monitors and laptops. You simply magnetically attach the camera to the stand that comes included in the box, allowing for an effortless setup. There's also a magnetic cover that can be used to shield the camera when it's not in use for those who are concerned about privacy. The webcam attaches to your laptop via the USB-C to USB-C cable that comes in the box, and there's even a USB-A adapter for laptops that need it. Once again, I can't stress how aesthetic this camera looks, especially in this space grey colorway that perfectly matches the color of my setup. What's impressed me the most, however, has actually been the low light performance of this camera. Living in the UK, it's often quite difficult trying to rely on natural lighting all of the time, so it's nice to know that I can rely on the Meet SE to get me through meetings on those overcast days and evenings, which is often very difficult for cameras to do, especially cameras of this size. To get the most out of the webcam though, I'd also recommend installing OBSBOT's free camera app, which lets you unlock the AI auto tracking feature that lets you use a series of hand gestures to control where the camera is focused. And there are a bunch of visual effects options that let you adjust settings like the color profile and the level of noise reduction to make sure that you're looking your best. At around £65, this webcam definitely gives you incredible value for money, and it's perfect for remote workers or anyone who just needs to look professional on camera without putting in a ton of effort behind the scenes. If you're interested in learning more about this webcam and its amazing features, I'll leave a link to it in the description below. OBSBOT will also be launching an exclusive 10% discount during the upcoming Amazon Prime Day sale. On top of the studio display, I've got the BenQ screen by Halo, which is a light bar that sits on top of your monitor to provide extra lighting for when you're working in dark environments. And what's different about this light bar compared to others is that the Halo comes with a backlight, which helps to reduce eye strain even more. It also comes with a wireless dial that lets you control settings like the brightness and the temperature of the light remotely, and to set custom presets. To the side, I've got a relaxing fragrance from M&S, which I got specifically to match the colour of this desk setup. The scent is also designed to help improve concentration and focus. When it comes to the device that's powering this whole setup, my current daily driver is still the M1 MacBook Air. It's what I use to edit all of these videos with and to manage the rest of my content creation workflow. And yeah, it's probably been one of the best purchases I've made to date. Now, I won't lie, this machine is starting to slow down a little bit, especially when I'm doing intensive work like exporting large video projects. So I am planning on upgrading to a MacBook Pro eventually. My plan right now is to wait for the OLED MacBook Pros to drop in late 2026 because we are expecting a redesign for those. So hopefully that will be a big upgrade. Now, I also used to be one of those people who would use their MacBooks exclusively in clamshell mode. However, recently I have made the switch to keeping my laptop lid open and using it as a sort of second screen where I can store less important windows like my music player and emails to the side and have the main thing I'm working on the main monitor. And yeah, overall, it's been a subtle game changer for my productivity. And I think it's definitely worth experimenting with if you're somebody who's always used clamshell mode. The laptop stand I'm using right now is the Native Union laptop stand. It features a super premium and solid metal finish and includes space at the bottom that you can use to store spare accessories like my Philips Hue remote, which is used to remotely control the Philips LED light strips that I've installed around the back of the desk. The strips aren't essential to the setup, however I do find that they do help to provide some character and colour to the space, plus they also provide a good amount of ambient lighting for when I'm working at night, which has been shown to help in reducing eye strain. When it comes to peripherals, I primarily use the Apple Magic Keyboard with Touch ID and the infamous Magic Mouse when I'm using my Mac. I think I might be in the 1% of people out there who actually enjoy using the Magic Mouse. I love the gestures and the smooth scrolling that you get with it, and I've personally never had any issues with the charging situation or ergonomics. If those things trigger you, then fair enough, I'm not going to try and convince you otherwise. Having said that, one big issue that I do have with the Magic Mouse and the Magic Keyboard is that they can only pair to one device at a time, which isn't ideal if you're the type of person who's regularly switching between devices. So because of that, I did recently pick up the Logitech MX Master 3S and the MX Keys Mini, which I use when I'm working on my Windows laptop. I did recently do a review of the MX Master 3, where I've gone into a bit more detail on some of its downsides, so it's worth checking that video out if you want to learn more. Both the keyboard and the mouse sit on this fake leather desk from Amazon that I got for about £8, and then to the side of the desk, I've got Vernal's desk extender, which just gives me a bit more extra room to store spare accessories without taking up any additional floor space. On it, I've placed a small mouse pad that I got off Amazon that I use primarily for storing drinks and plates so that I don't get the rest of the desk dirty. And then behind that, I've got the Benks metal headphone stand that I use to store my AirPods Max. It's quite a unique headphone stand in that the design is made entirely from metal, which feels very premium and Apple-like. Plus the headrest perfectly matches the shape of the headband of the AirPods Max. However, one big issue with this headphone stand is that the top of it has completely peeled off after 6 months, and some of the glue has actually dripped onto my headphones, which is not great for a headphone stand that costs this amount of money. So because of that, I am actually a bit reluctant to recommend this stand to anybody. I haven't done a whole lot in terms of cable management. The desk from Vernal already comes with a cable management tray, which I've used to hide my surge protector and the cables connected to it. But I haven't necessarily made the biggest effort to hide things, mainly because I'm just too lazy for that. And realistically, I'm not going to be looking underneath my desk that often. So as long as it's not a complete mess, then I'm okay with that. I do also have a power station from Anker hiding in the corner, along with 6 braided USB-C to USB-C cables. And these cables are definitely very overkill. They're capable of handling up to 240 watts of power, and they come in a space black colorway and look extremely nice. And to keep the cables from becoming a mess, I've stuck a cable holder that I picked up from Amazon to the side. Having said that, most of the time I do just prefer to use wireless charging since it is more convenient, and my current desk charger of choice is the 3-in-1 basketball charger from Cookshoe. It does the same job as pretty much every other 3-in-1 MagSafe charger out there, so there's no fancy tech inside of this thing. In fact, I don't think this charger even supports fast charging for the Apple Watch. But what I like about it is the basketball inspired design. It just looks a lot more interesting than most other chargers out there. Plus, when it's not in use, you can attach this magnetic hoop and place a mini basketball with the balls that are included in the box. In terms of seating, my current office chair of choice is the famous Herman Miller Aeron in the all grey colourway. Everything from the armrest to the back support to the base is super comfortable, and you get a ton of adjustment options that lets you get your posture just how you like it. Now, I'm not going to lie, this chair is ridiculously expensive. Sure, you can definitely get some good discounts online, especially if you buy this thing refurbished. However, you still are going to have to fork out a lot of money for this chair. However, equally, I do almost see having a high quality ergonomic chair as being a bit like an investment into your own health. So for me, buying this chair was well worth the cost. In terms of storage, I got a small filing cabinet from a company called Songmix that I used to store spare cables and files that I refer to once every 5 years. And then underneath the desk itself, I've got Vernal's PC holder, which I use to store my printer and some spare paper. I do also have the keyboard drawer that's from Vernal that I use to store spare accessories like SSDs and keyboards. However, one big issue that I do have with the keyboard tray is that it is annoyingly tall, which does create a bit of discomfort when I'm trying to set my desk height. So it's probably not an accessory that I'd recommend you pick up unless you really need that extra storage space. So that's a quick overview of my current desk setup. It's by no means perfect right now. In fact, I don't think there even is such thing as a perfect desk setup, mainly because it depends on what your own workflow needs are. And chances are I probably will make a number of adjustments to this setup over time. So I am thinking of potentially sticking some acoustic panels on the wall, mainly because the walls do look a bit bland right now. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of this setup in the comments down below. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to follow me on Instagram and Twitter and subscribe for the next one.